Yo, what's up? This is Midas Mulligan. We're riding along the activity bus with Cisco, a.k.a. Yeah, right, Isata. What's going on, brother?
What's going on, man?
I ain't making no noise. Yo, right, so you had a WSOF fight
Yeah.
2 weeks ago, and you right back in the cage and strike off too, man. What's up with that?
I had a WSOS fight. I took it about, I don't know, I think it was like 8 days notice, went up like 15 pounds. Didn't really go the way I wanted it to go. We went 3 rounds. So this fight, you know what I mean? Like, as long as I always feel ready to fight. I'm always in shape. So another fight kept calling. Why not take it?
Yo, and here's the thing, though, man. I want to say thank you for coming close to home where I can actually see you fight again, because it's been a while, and I ain't got to go that far to see it, man. And not only that, we got your boy Mike Pope on it. What's up with that, man?
Yeah, it's going to be fun being, that way we can have Dave and crew, and we can have everybody in the back with us, so it's going to be fun having a team. I think it's the first time I'm fighting with a teammate right next to me, so that'll be cool. That way the team, because usually there's always a fight going on. Someone's fighting here, somebody's fighting in another state, so we got to separate the team. But now everybody can come out and support all at the same time. Matter of fact, all of Northern Virginia and Maryland should come out and support the team.
Dude, I honestly think all of Northern Virginia and Maryland and D.C. are going to be there for that fight, man. And I know Disciple's going to be deep up in there to support you and you and Mike, man. Because, like, seriously, you guys fought on, like, some big promotions, Shogun, CFFC, WSOF. So for Josh to even say, I'll take a fight with Strikeoff too, that's huge, man, because you guys don't fight for everybody. How they treating you over there?
Again, this is another fight I took in such short notice that I don't know how they're treating me, but, I mean, I know the promoters pretty well, so they'll treat us. I mean, it's a hometown fight. We're going to bring a lot of hometown people there. You know us. We always put on a good show, so, it's more about how we treat the fans so they get an enjoyable show from us. And it's local, so they don't got to spend $100 to travel and all that other stuff.
When I heard, I'm not going to lie, CIsco, when I heard you were fighting, because I got the exclusive, right? Because I happen to know a couple important people. So when I heard you were fighting, I was overly ecstatic, right? But here's the thing, though, CIsco. I was more ecstatic about your opponent who you're fighting, because this kind of like started on a thread that I came up with a few months ago about a guy who thought that he was on your level, Pope's level, and it's happening, right?
Yeah. So
what about that, man? I mean, me personally, I don't, for a first fight, pro, I don't think you're the first guy I would go after, considering that you are a seasoned pro now.
I mean, when you look at Virginia amateurs, especially guys who fought for titles or whatever, there's no real distinction, right? I guess maybe the stage is a little different, but what is a guy at Operation Octagon not able to do that a guy at Shogun does? Nothing. So it's not really like if this was maybe Jersey or Pennsylvania where they can't throw elbows and knees, then it's a big change. But if you actually look at my opponent's fights and you look at my fights, we haven't had that many. Our fight separation isn't that big. When it's full contact rules, there's not that big. I think he might even have one more fight than me. But that's amateur and pro together. So when people in VA start talking about that, he's had more pro fights, he's had this, he's had that, like, if we keep it 100, we're all able to throw knees, we're all able to throw elbows. These are full unified rules. Like, there's no difference between Operation Octagon and the UFC when it comes to the rules. So, I mean, maybe the stage is a little different. They might be a little nervous from that, but we've all been punched in the face. And once we step in that cage, it doesn't really matter. Once you get hit, like, all your nerves get out the window if you're a fighter. So we'll find out if he's a fighter this weekend, right?
Right. And here's the thing, though, because he's ready. Now, deep in his mind and his heart, he thinks that he's going to beat you. He believes that he can beat you. And sometimes that's a dangerous opponent, right?
Say what? He's a what?
I said sometimes an opponent that believes wholeheartedly that they can beat you, that could be a dangerous opponent. That can make for a long night. What do you think about that?
This is MMA, so everybody's a dangerous opponent. I've seen guys go out there like, you gotta think about it. Matt Serra knocked GSP out. Is Matt Serra better than GSP?
No.
Right. Because GSP came in there, implemented a game plan, and then went on a crazy streak after that. So everybody's a danger. A guy off the street can come in there and get a lucky punch off. So I don't really sleep on anybody, you know. So I don't look at anybody as a dangerous opponent because I'm fully confident in my skills. But I also know that a kick placed somewhere could put me to sleep. A punch placed somewhere, an armbar somewhere could, you know, make me tap. So
yeah. But what's up with Coach Fluffy Reeves, man? I mean, what has he done to get you ready for this fight, man?
He's done what he does every time, man. He just reminds me that how good I am. He holds mitts for me, and he gets my mental right. Like as far as the guys out of Disciple, like our physical is always gonna be ready because we're always training. But what Dave does for me is he always gets me mentally prepared. He reminds me that most of these guys don't do what we do, don't train how we train. I think
they don't live how you live.
Yeah, they don't even get the type of girls we get. I think he said that last time.
yeah. That's what, you know, I was just listening to that interview the other day, man. You know what? This might sound kind of crazy.
Hey, Midas, I don't know what he's talking about, though, because Coach Fluffy is engaged. Congrats to him, by the way.
Yeah, so congratulations to Coach. Yeah, definitely congratulations to Coach Fluffy on getting engaged. But no, I definitely understood what Coach Fluffy Reeves was trying to say on the interview. You know what's really crazy? Because I own the rights to that footage, I often listen to that interview at least once or twice a week just for motivational purposes. I think he had it spot on when he was like, you know, when he was like, CIsco Isata said, you know, the internet's a real place. Like, you can't just say what you want on Facebook and think that it goes away when I see you in person and then you try to be my friend. So
let's not get it mistaken. I say a lot of stuff and I get out of hand a lot of times. I'm really emotional, especially when you talk about my friends and all of that.
Yeah.
But I am willing to back everything. I'm never going to throw a stone and hide my hand. So if I say it on the internet and we see each other in person, I'm willing to stand by it. I just wish a lot of other guys would do that. So when you guys say something online, just understand when you see me, I feel like you meant that. But if you didn't, an apology will work too. But let's not just pretend like it didn't happen.
Yeah, because not to talk about another promotion on another, but on Operation Octagon, man, it got real backstage, man. I don't think a lot of people understood how real Operation Octagon was.
I heard stories. I wish I wasn't there. I had to corner one of my fighters, Morgan, who went out there and run shop, by the way.
Yes, you did.
That's the thing about it, right? On the internet, it's all fun and games, but when we actually go to these venues, our guys are there to fight in the cage and prove something. So I'm not able to pay attention to the people there to, you know, play internet tough again. But we are always on in that cage with you. That's never a problem.
Absolutely, man. And like, so what's up with Mike Pope, man? Is he training hard, man?
I mean, when have you known Mike not to train hard?
Touche, man. Because I was like, yo, these two guys on the same card with Coach Reeves. Because Coach Reeves was supposed to co-host a show with me, man. But I was like, I guess he's not up to co-hosting when he's got you guys fighting. But I was kind of disappointed a little bit.
We'll try and make it quick so he can get on there. But the whole time Coach Reeves is going to be doing this Tough Mudder thing. So Coach got a full schedule that day. He's going to do the Tough Mudder in the morning and then sprint over to us, get us our W's, and then go out and get drunk with us. No, I'm kidding. I don't drink, and neither does he.
So who you been training with for this fight, Cam, brother?
Man, same guys I'm always training with. Like I do my jiu-jitsu. To be honest, I've been doing a lot of my jiu-jitsu with my Pedro Sour guys, but I'm also doing a lot of jiu-jitsu with the Big Brother family over there with Dave and Dollar and all of them. And then, of course, the Disciple guys is where I do my MMA. So my camps don't change. Not that I've had too much of a camp. It's like 8 days notice, but I'm always training with the same people. These are the people that got me where I'm at. So we're going to keep training there until I need to be where I want to be. and that's not gonna change.
Yo, hey man, yo, shout out to Pedro Sauer and Master Leo Dollar too, man, because not too many people can have that privilege of training with those two legendary camps.
Real quick, Dave, Coach Fluffy and crew, they're gonna get upset with me. Just real quick, anybody got something negative to say about Pedro Sauer or Pedro Sauer Jiu-Jitsu, feel free to come roll with me or strike with me or do MMA with me. I had to get that out there because there was an article pulled out this weekend and it upset me a little bit. I just need to keep it on. We got real jiu-jitsu over there. If they have an issue, they can come up to the school and roll. And now I'm getting people are going to be upset at me for saying that, but I had to get that off my heart because I respect Pedro way too much to let anybody talk about him the way I know people talked about him this weekend. But now I'm gonna move back to positive CIsco. I'm back, guys.
You back. Oh, you know what? Nobody ever says anything negative about Leo Dollar Jiu-Jitsu, but
now people say negative stuff. It's just again, a lot of people throw stones and hide their hands.
Oh, absolutely. So you trust me, CIsco. You know me, man. You know I know about that.
Right.
So here's the thing about you, man. Either people, there's no in between. Like there is no in between about CIsco or Isata. It's like, oh man, I love CIsco or I don't like CIsco. You know what I'm saying?
Why don't people like me?
You know, because people think you're overly. People think you. I'm gonna be real with you. If I can play doubles, you know, I like you, CIsco. You know, me and you have a great working relationship. You know, me and you have a great working relationship, right? But there's people that after the interviews that I posted with you.
Yeah.
All right. First of all, let me say, the Dave Fluffy Reeves interview and the CIsco Isata interview was two of the most controversial interviews I ever had in my life, and I got like 10 phone calls about those interviews. And let me tell you what they said. Because I ain't going. You know, I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm gonna tell you what they said. So those guys are overly cocky. They're too full of themselves, man.
Before you even finish, let me tell you something. I'm gonna give you two very good points. We're in a sport where I have to step in a cage where a guy who's been training for 2 months and he's been watching my video and he's been training for 2 months to beat on me specifically. I'm not in a street fight where neither person knows anything about the other. I'm stepping aside of a cage where a guy who's just as skilled as I am is coming in there to take my head off. If you don't have self-confidence and if you're not confident in yourself, you have no reason being in the sport I'm in at all. Right? If you look at some of the greatest people, it's not a confidence thing. It's just that they know the amount of work they put in, so they're willing to talk about it. Like, if you think Mayweather's cocky, you're crazy. Because cocky means full of yourself to a point of ignorance, if you look it up in the dictionary.
Right.
There's nothing about that man that says he's full of himself because he works harder than anybody you know. I feel like I work harder than most people. Dave works harder than most people, and everybody from my camp works harder than most people. So when we're out here saying that we can step in the cage with anybody, that's not overly confidence. That's facts. Because let's not forget, like I'm that guy who stepped up 2.5 weight classes outside of my weight class in 8 days' notice and fought a black belt. Right? I'm the same guy who fought Rob and again short notice. Stepped up in weight class. I'm fighting Bianchi at 165. I fight at 145. So if you think I'm being overly confident or do you think I just actually believe in myself to a point where I'm willing to prove it every single day? Now, a lot of these guys that say I'm overly confident or Dave's overly confident don't step in the cage. You guys are talkers. But I'm willing to step in there and show you what I've been saying. I'm not just going to say it. I'm going to step in there and I'm going to throw these punches. And if I lose, I lose. If I win, I win. But I'm always going to feel like no one's going to be able to outclass me. Is that being overly confident?
No, and because you know, and like I say, you know, we got that. We come from a keep it real cloth. You know what I'm saying? And you know me, I always keep it honest with you. But the one thing I have to admire about you, and here's the thing, because a lot of people say, you know, I'm pro Leo Dollar or I'm pro CIsco or Dave Reeves, but people don't understand. We disagree all the time, but it's about how you disagree about stuff. You know that makes it acceptable. Like you know, if I say something to you, or if I say something to Dave Reeves, You know what I'm saying? Whether guys rather agree with me or I disagree with you, at least we're coming from an honest place.
Yeah, well, most of the time.
Most of it. So we're coming from an honest place. But anyway, so what's up with these weight classes, Cisco? Why go up 2-3 weight classes above where you normally fight? In this case, this is 3 weight classes, man.
Yeah.
Well, two weight classes.
It's two and a half. It's again, I don't want to sound cocky. Actually, I don't care. Let me stop for a second. But this isn't coming from a cocky place. This is me being honest. We've had a lot of fights set up in a lot of big venues with guys at 145, and every single time somebody seems to get hurt or they pull out. So I can't get fights at 145 for some reason. 145ers just don't want to fight me. I'm gonna let you guys guess why they don't want to fight me. So to be able to continue on career and continue to fight, I have to take the fights where guys are a little bit bigger than me.
So
right?
so how does the weight come though? Like, are you got to eat to get up, or you just naturally walk around at 165?
I mean, I just got to hit that gym and lift, and or I stay at my weight and I just fight them because they're bigger than me. If I'm in I'm getting jacked in here. That's what I'm doing. I'm out there getting deep. I put on massive amounts of weight. I'm gonna go in there and bench press all my opponents.
Wow. So what's your natural body weight? What do you walk around at?
It depends. It honestly depends. I don't have a natural body weight right now.
Okay. I can kind of see.
You know what I mean? Because all these fat guys keep trying to fight me, so I got to go in there and pump up, so I don't even know what my natural body weight is anymore.
Yeah, okay, because I can see you kind of don't want to let a little strategies out or whatever. Because Pianke is a big guy, man. As a matter of fact, I seen him 2 Sundays ago. He's got to be 6'1.5", 6'2", fighting at 155. I mean, he's a giant guy, man. Shout out to Pianke for even taking the fight, man. Because it's not the fight that I would have.
Hold on, no, stop it. Why is a shout out to him for taking the fight against somebody half his size? Why he ain't fighting somebody that walks around his way? You're not backing me in no corner here. You know, shout out. Hey, shout out to CIsco. To Pianke for taking the fight, though. Yeah. Hey, what's he doing special?
Well, I consider you a high level.
He's fighting me. So
can I answer?
Nah, go ahead. My bad. Yeah.
All right. I consider you a high level professional, right?
Yeah.
All right. So for his first professional fight to come out and be like, "Yo, I want to fight CIsco," a high level professional on a stage that. I think that says he's crazy.
I play around a lot, but anybody that steps inside that cage gets my respect. They might not have my respect as men or whatever else, but as soon as you step in that cage, once you lock those doors and you've done it more than once, and you put in the work to get in there, I respect you. I might not like you, but I respect you.
Yeah, again, man, Pianke, I know Pianke likes me, and I like Pianke. Two. But I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this on record because me and Pianke had this thing where we go back and forth. Whatever I say on record, if I really feel like that, he's cool with it. He doesn't get butt hurt. I think this is a bad matchup for him.
I mean, he's the bigger guy. I think it's. I think anybody who fights me is a bad matchup for him.
Well, I know.
Being overly cocky again.
Yeah, exactly. Overly cocky. I get it. And you know what I'm saying? But from a journalistic standpoint, I think this is a bad matchup for him. But the thing about it is, CIsco, he does have knockout power and he does have good precision striking. So that might be a little bit of a challenge, but I think, you being a vet, you might pull it out here.
I might, pull it out. A tough decision, split decision, maybe.
I don't know how it's gonna go. I don't know how it's gonna go because you do have the privilege of working with Coach Reeves as far as your jiu-jitsu goes. You know what I'm saying? By the way, man, how is that, man?
Dave is awesome, man. Dave is not just a jiu-jitsu coach. He's gonna get even more really cocky once I say it. Dave is more of a life coach. He knows how to strike. He knows how to do jiu-jitsu. He knows how to wrestle, but he also knows how to get inside his fighter's head, and that's the most important thing for us. Like, our skill level's where it's at, right? Like, we're all phenomenal athletes, phenomenal fighters, but Dave knows how to get in your head and make sure you're mentally there. And that's what most of us waver, because most fighters get hit in the head so much that we start losing brain cells. So Dave kind of brings up the brain cells back in.
I heard your jiu-jitsu was legit. So next time I catch you in the gym, I'm just letting you know I'm bringing my gi and it's on.
Let me ask you a question.
I'm letting you know I stay with a gi. So next time you, huh?
I said stop it 6 times, but you kept talking. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just letting you know. Next time I see you at a gym, I got my gi on me at all times. It's going down.
Okay, so you don't mean any of that.
No, I mean that. I gotta get some.
Nah, I can't. I don't pick on people. That'll be bullying, and Dave won't let me bully people. No. I a lot of my fans, they actually want to see me train because they don't think I know anything. So I think I'm gonna have to swing by this. Say what? I'm one of those people.
He said, what are you talking about, man? I'm Dave Trader. I'm Dave Trader Jiu-Jitsu, baby. It don't get no more legit than Dave Trader Jiu-Jitsu, baby.
Okay. I mean, if you train under Dave, then maybe you know what you're doing, I guess.
Oh yeah. Him and Fluffy started together. Him and Fluff was like legends around here, babe. Okay. That's cool. But why you bringing it up? We were talking about you. Say that again.
I thought we were talking about you not knowing enough in the jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, hey, man, cause last time I seen you and Mike Pope in the cage and with Dave, y'all made me want to get in there and get some work in, man. I like the way you guys work up there.
Yeah, you're more than welcome, man. Whenever you want, come up.
Yo, is Coach Reeves with you right now?
Coach Reeves is always with me. If I got a fight coming up, it's 9 times out of 10 Coach Reeves is with me. He's one of the main reasons I'm saying nothing crazy. You're humble out there.
You gotta CIsco, you gotta put Coach Reeves. You gotta put me on speakerphone, man.
All right, I'm about to put you on speakerphone right now. Go ahead.
Fluff, what's up?
Hold on. Before you start talking to Fluffy, I got to shout out Steady Pressure. I get scolded every single time I do an interview with him because, again, I get a lot of head trauma. But my boy over there that owns Gary Gioni owns Steady Pressure. They have open mat every Sunday at Peer Performance at 3 p.m. But our top high-level guys from every school, no math fee, come through there, roll with us. You know what I mean? You'll get a lot better.
Did you say every Sunday?
Every Sunday at 3 p.m.
And where's this at again?
It's in Rockville, Pure Performance. It's a Pedro Sara school. Just come through. You know what I mean? No, I mean, do you understand what I'm saying?
I got you.
I'm saying. But no math fee. Come through, roll with us. Everyone's there just to get better. No egos, and go like Steady Pressure on Facebook as well.
Steady Pressure.
Steady Pressure, yeah, put that up.
I got it, okay. Brother.
Why? Because you know what Steady Pressure makes, right? What is pressure?
Diamonds, baby. Diamonds, baby. You know I know. You know I know.
Here goes Coach Fluffy David, Superhead Coach Reeves.
Coach Reeves, am I on speakerphone?
Superhead Coach David Reeves.
Yo, congratulations on the engagement, Coach.
Thank you, Midas. I appreciate it.
Yo, hey man, I'm sorry, you won't be co-hosting, or you'll be like, maybe do like a cameo for us. You got 2 guys fighting. Are you excited about it?
Very excited. So yeah, I'll do whatever time that you have for me or need me. Maybe we can hook up while we're there at the show. I know there's going to be some great local talent there as well. There's a lot of good fights on that card. Glory Fights has definitely put together another great show. I am super excited to have both CIsco and Mike fighting on that card. We're in town together. We're not traveling a million miles away, and it feels like every other weekend we've been on a road trip for one of these guys. So it is exciting to be kind of in the hometown in Woodbridge at the Palace. So if you're in the area and you want to see some great fights, come out there and support your local pros.
Oh, absolutely, man. Hey, yo, and another thing is, too, man, I want to say thanks for that interview that you and I done. You took the time out in the middle of a day from your fighters, and you gave me that interview. Man, we got a big buzz on that interview, man. I want to say thank you.
You're very welcome. Yeah, I heard a little bit of the stuff that you were talking to CIsco about, and if my message came across arrogant or cocky, then the message was not received the way I intended it to be.
Right.
I speak from my chest. I think it's the only way to speak. I try to be as honest and upfront with things and use my life experience to speak from. So, like I said, if it came across arrogant or cocky by any means, that's not what I intended. I did get some evil looks. I got some evil looks from my girlfriend with the girls that we date comment. I was there. So I did get looks from her, and then she became my fiance. So I think I beat down the looks. So.
Yeah, hey, it's funny that you say that, right? Because you were just flowing. Like, I think we got the concept. I don't think you meant, like, the girls that we date. I think you meant it like it's a lifestyle. Like, people just, they want to live like you guys live, and that's well and train hard and get a lot of praise.
Midas, I'm gonna give you a little bit of worldly knowledge here, and maybe a little bit of preaching, or maybe something I can offer somebody else that listens to this interview.
Absolutely.
When we talk about living the way that we live, training the way we train, what I'm really getting at is people are very unhappy with who they are. And I want people to be, what I'm trying to get across, and what I try to get across to the guys I train with, from the young kids all the way up to the Mikes and the CIscos of the world, is you got to be comfortable in your own skin. You got to be comfortable with the way that you're strong. Your strengths need to come out. Your strengths aren't necessarily the same strengths I have. I think, if you want to talk about a strength that CIsco has, I think something that he has and possesses is the ability to be able to turn on and off emotions for a fight, which a lot of fighters don't have. You have other fighters that fight really emotionally, right? They use a lot of that emotion to drive forward, whereas CIsco is able to cut that off and use other pieces to get through a fight. So what I'm really preaching and what I'm really saying and trying to get across to everyone is, man, you got to be happy with who you are. And not want to be like everybody else, because that jealousy thing doesn't get you anywhere. And
that's true.
You try to change and conform, and that's not the way that you're going to be your best. And spend your time, instead of talking and typing stuff and creating blogs or doing terrible interviews and saying terrible things about people, instead of putting your energy there, man, come and train. And that's really what I wanted to get across, was come and train. Come hang out with us. Come train with us. You know what? I'm not arrogant and cocky, and if that's come across, that's definitely not what's intended. CIsco, yes, he's all of those things. But you know what? Be perfectly honest with you, I don't know CIsco like that. The CIsco that you know isn't the CIsco I know. The CIsco I know is the training partner, is the friend, is the coach, is the coach of fighters that will step, like he cornered this past weekend with me. We had a whole army fighting out in Winchester at oh my gosh, Revolution Fight Series. And right. He was helping me corner an entire army out there. That's the CIsco I know, the selfless, the go sit in the sauna and card sweat off you while you're cutting weight. That's who I know. So that's what I'm getting across. Is like, what you think, this persona, this fakeness, I don't know that. I know the people, and I just want to keep getting that message across, man, is keep challenging yourself to be better. Keep being better yourself, like you personally. Get better. Right. Get better at what you do, whatever your craft is, your life, your family. But keep working on you, and if you keep working on you and doing the right things, like God's got a plan for everybody. Find that part of the plan, believe in it, own it, and live your life. Don't live someone else's.
And here's the thing, Coach. Like, no matter what you say or how you say it, there's always going to be somebody, to be fair, that doesn't like what you said. But on the other side of the coin, do you know how many people praised that interview that you done? everybody, the 3%ers, the people who understood that and believed in whatever you were saying, and they lived by that code, man, you got rave reviews for that, But sometimes I think in life, sometimes the life you live, people don't like it because it contradicts the lives that they live in their own lives. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. My friend, I heard somebody say this the other day. Haters will continue to hate, and they can definitely hate. So, no, we're good. I didn't lose any sleep over anybody not liking the interview. I definitely appreciate the opportunity and the time to be able to talk. I want to be able to offer back to the sport, and if anybody heard the interview and they don't understand it or want to talk more about it, just hit me up and we can talk about it.
No, and here's the thing though. A lot came from the interview, right? Now, you could have took the negative part from the interview, but if you would have took the positive part from that interview and own it, you could be successful in anything that you choose to do in life. And what I mean by that, I was not lying to CIsco Isata when I said, I own the rights to that footage, so I listen to it once or twice a week. Is that 3% attitude that we don't make excuses and we do whatever it takes to reach our goals. You know what I mean? So I think if people took that from it and really focused on that, it could make them a better human being.
I'm gonna jump in real quick. I feel like we went away from your original question. The women we date are crazy attractive. I just wanted to, because I feel like we jumped away from the question. But the women we date are ridiculously attractive. But back in the day, though. Go ahead, Dave. You said something.
He said the women we date are ridiculously attractive.
Midas, this is the life that I lived. I'll put it to you this way, man. And I'll give you your last little tidbit from me. I would not have CIsco or Mike or any of my disciple family around my kids if I didn't trust them wholeheartedly to represent themselves and me.
Shout out to Jason's math homework.
So yes, CIsco does help my youngest son with his math homework. We've got a family that we've built, man, and I'm very excited and proud to be part of this family. And I mean, don't take the negative from these interviews. I mean, a lot of these things are halfway joking, but I gave my life message, and hopefully I can touch somebody and help them or impact them in their short careers, their long careers, and their life in general. So
okay. Now, let me ask you this before you go, Coach. I know it's late. I know you guys just left the gym. What's up with motivational speaking, man? Have you ever thought about doing that, or when? Because a lot of people, honestly, I did have 2 requests of somebody who was like, man, that guy should be a motivational speaker. 2 people did say that to me.
So Midas, I work for a company where I manage a fairly large region of folks, of leaders, and of sellers. So believe it or not, I actually take this message to them. So I don't want to say I do motivational speaking. I'm a mentor. I've got a mentor group for veterans, and then I also mentor several leaders across my organization. So I do that for a living now. What I give back to the fighters and what I give back to these guys in this world is a little bit different. But I think it's just a different audience. But I appreciate that, and I appreciate those people. If they want to hear me speak, they can just pick up the phone and call me.
No, so there's no you don't have any prior dates or speaking engagements coming up that people can come to.
All jokes aside, I think crew would get a kick out of this. If you want to hear me speak, come and see me at the PT portion of our training on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays.
I think you guys should Mike Dave up at all our fights. If y'all want motivational speeches, Mike Dave up before me or Mike or Adam or Desmond or Pablo or John.
No, so you mean to tell me he gives you guys a motivational speech before every fight?
Before every fight, and it's brand new. It's always the same message, but it's Dave. I think he can read minds, so he goes into whatever's bothering you at that time. So mic him up. I'm being dead serious.
You know what? Coach, because we actually mic you up, or
I don't need people knowing what's wrong with me.
Coach, can we mic you up?
Yeah, if you want to mic me up before these guys and they're good with it, I have no concern, no issue with it. Not my fight.
Are you sure? Yo, man, hey, man, is Mike Pope ready? Because I know he's not there right now, but, I'm a big Mike Pope supporter. Is he ready to go?
Hey, you know what? I think Mike put something up on his page the other day. You don't have to get ready if you're always ready. And CIsco said it just a couple minutes ago. These guys train hard. We train with great warriors. They're ready. And they're both stepping up weight classes. I'm not too thrilled about that. But, we're staying sharp. We're keeping in the cage. We're getting ready for the next opportunity, next show. CIsco had a hell of a showing at World Series of Fighting. What we took from that fight and learned from that fight is going to propel him forward. I look forward to the same test with Mike. We're doing big things. These guys are all doing big things. But I also want to point out something. I know that we get talking about a lot of different folks, but, we got Roz defending his title in October out of Freedom MMA, another great local fighter. Very excited to be able to cross-train with those guys and the stuff that Roz has done. I'm also going to call out, we've got guys on the amateur side that people need to watch out for. You got a warrior in Pablo Garcia that is 7-1 that has crept up on some people and just finished his last fight in 50-some-odd seconds. Like, these guys coming up that we're training with now, these guys are the next level of talent. So when you get the opportunity and you're out at Freedom, hit Roz up. Like, look at what Roz is doing and what he's about. He shocked the MMA scene in this area with that fight with JB.
Yeah.
What a hell of a fight those two put on, and he shocked the MMA community. And I'm going to tell you, like that, he's got the heart of a warrior, and you don't teach that. People need to surround themselves with guys like Roz. You want to see what it takes to be in this game? What a warrior.
And here's the thing about Roz, man, because I've interviewed Roz before. I'm a big Roz supporter as well. I think Roz is a better fighter after the Jackson loss than he was before. Like he's finished like 3 people in a row since the DJ loss, and they always say that's the mark of a champion is how you bounce back from when you down, and this guy's finishing everybody.
Yeah, no, I was very excited to see him fight. I was a fan for him. I sat out there and cheered. It was a great fight to watch. Both of those warriors put on great fights. And I don't want to deflect too much. I just wanted to kind of, we get talking about just, 1 or 2 folks, and man, there's so much going on in this area right now. And you brought up DJ, another great warrior. There's really some great talent here, and we've got to pull together as a community and make sure that we're supporting the activity bus.
Absolutely.
And make sure we're talking more about the local talent. CIsco had talked a little bit about Gary Gionis at Steady Pressure. Great jiu-jitsu camps there. You got Team Lloyd Irvin out in Camp Springs. Great jiu-jitsu camps there. You got Master Dalla with Premier Fight Center and all the big brothers. So Pentagon MMA, out to Stafford, BJJ, to the Lab out in Fredericksburg, to Vanguard out in Manassas. There's schools everywhere. You've got affiliates, non-affiliates. You got Levi Satter over at MMA, Main Street MMA. You got schools all over the place that are really offering talented instructors to teach. And you got to support these local fighters. Virginia has not even blasted on scene as deep as we can get. I'm sorry, not just Virginia, but the whole DMV. Like, we haven't taken the country by storm, and I'm telling you, you better watch out for the names coming out of this area.
Okay. You know what? Real quick, Dave. I gotta talk to you guys about this before I let you guys go.
Okay, but real quick, I just want to jump in there because Dave's listening out to people. I want all you 35ers out there. No, matter of fact, all the 25ers out there, because I got another guy. He's in my exact same position, Alejandro Zaya. He was a big-time amateur. And as soon as he went pro, nobody will fight him. So now he's taking fights with guys with 13, 14 fights. He's taking guys that are 2 weight classes above him. Guys, if we're fighters, let's stop being scared to fight each other. Let's just jump out there and fight. So shout out to my
true.
brother.
There's a whole lot of dutching going out there.
Yeah. Can I get a 25er with less than 3 fights to fight Alejandro? I'll put that out there. Just less than 3 fights. I know he's a hell of a striker and a hell of a wrestler, and he's a purple belt, but just stop being scared of him and see where your talent really is. Shout out to Zaya, by the way. He's there on Sundays with us too. But go ahead.
All right. Am I still on speakerphone?
Yeah, you're still on speaker.
All right, cool. There's two names I want to mention, and I want CIsco and I want Dave to give me what you think about them real quick. Because Dave, you made a good point with amateurs, right? There's one amateur in particular that I'm really, really high on right now. What do you guys think about Tony? What do you guys think about Tony Campos?
Well, I actually trained with Tony. He's out of Vanguard. I know that Mike's trained with him a lot. Tony he's one of those solid core guys that is going to do big things in this sport. I was very impressed with his fight. I had to corner against him, which was not a very exciting moment for me, but I'm just very proud to see where he's at and where he's coming, and his ramp-up room or his runway, man, he's got a lot of room, and he's going to do big things in this sport as long as he stays focused and does what he does.
Absolutely. All right. Now, one other thing for you guys. What do you think about the latest news in MMA? Mike Easton gets dropped from the UFC. What do you guys think about that?
I don't really have an opinion on that, but what I do know is he got to live the dream, and he's still young, right? So a couple guys who got dropped from the UFC who came back and made a hell of a run. But there's not too many people at Mike Easton's age that got into the UFC, had wins in the UFC, and now all he's got to do is go back, get a couple wins at local shows or bigger shows, and he'll be right back in there. He comes from way too much of a big camp to stay down. I know those guys over there, man. They get knocked down, they stand right back up. But
I said the same thing.
But my main point is whether Mike gets back to the UFC or he doesn't. Man, like he's one of the guys who could say he fought in the UFC.
He actually won in the UFC.
It's a million fighters in this world, but Mike
and actually say he fought a world champion.
Yeah, absolutely. He fought TJ and gave TJ a hell of a push.
Yeah, so I want to say he's still a legend. He always will be a legend, whether he wins another fight or not.
Nah, but I think, man, I know those guys and I know how they train. Like I've been over there. There's no way he doesn't get back.
So I think he's going to get back too. I think he'll go to like Bellator or ONE FC somewhere like that, dominate and be back. Dave, what do you think?
Tell Mike he could fight me. Me and Mike could fight. Look, Dave gave me that look. Mike, I'm playing. But unless you want to fight me, I'll fight Mike so I can get some exposure out there.
Dave, what do you?
I'm a big man. Why? I'm laughing at why I can't fight Mike. That's my stuff I be doing, man. I challenged him at the last interview too. He said he was 140.
Because I think you're joking.
I'll play him. I like those guys. I like Mike. I like those guys, man.
Yo, hey, Mike's a great guy, man. He's constant professional, great interviewer.
Interviewee. I'll meet you there at 140.
Yeah, hey, you can meet DJ at 155 too. Don't forget him.
I'll meet DJ at 170. No, you got mad. Don't try to do that, Midas.
Yeah, no, see, I wasn't trying to do nothing. I was just going off what you were saying.
Got to put teammates against each other. Like I actually look at these guys like even when we train together on a constant, they're super close with some people I'm super close with, so I look at them like teammates. And all we're going to do is keep making each other better. Like, I go out there and train with DJ a lot. I actually just hit DJ up because one of his strengths is something I'm trying to work on, and me and him actually got some plans together to meet up so I could work on some of his strengths and he could work on some of mine. So,
that's smart. That's smart, CIsco. I mean, for real, cross-training like that, especially with that camp up there, and you already got Coach Reeves and Mike pushing you. I mean, I think your future is really bright, man. I don't think you scratched the surface of what you can really accomplish in this sport.
Yeah, I mean, that's why it's funny to me when people call me cocky. Like, if I was cocky, I wouldn't be reaching out to everybody in the same world as me. I wouldn't show respect to the people who I feel as though deserve respect. But, like, I train with people all the time. Like, so I'm not a cocky guy. I do play around a lot, and if you people can't handle that, man, y'all should probably, they slap yourselves, right? Because they said I can't say the other thing, but anybody who knows me knows what word I was actually looking for.
Oh yeah. No, hey, I want to go on record right now in front of all my fans and say there's no house ninjas.
Dave is shaking his head. Dave is not like that word, especially involved. Dave, I'm sorry for Midas. He's not a smart guy.
Yeah, I just want to say, Dave, I know Dave. I know Coach Reeves hates that word. You know what I mean? But anyway, so yeah, Coach Reeves, what do you think about the whole Mike incident?
I mean, he made the run, man. You know, I'm proud to have been able to call him teammate and to see what he's done and to see. Don't write him out. Like, don't give up on him. I mean, he hasn't given up on himself. None of us have given up on him, and he's not done. It's not like he's out of the sport.
Right.
You know, he's coming back off an injury. The last time we interviewed him together, you know, he's still recovering. He's making a run, man. So don't be surprised and don't sit back and jump back on his bandwagon. This guy's not out, and you can't count him out. You know, he's come through adversity before and fought through, and he's going to fight through this time. I'll be excited to see what he does.
Yeah, and I'll be the first person to buy a ticket to his next fight because I feel sorry for the next person he fights.
Yo, funny thing, I was just about to say that. Like, whoever fights hey, Mike, I was just playing. Take that back. I don't want to fight you. At least not next. Not next. I mean, yeah, he's going to beat somebody back.
Yeah, he's going to be, somebody's going down on that one. Hey, well, guys, man, I appreciate you guys fighting on the activity bus, man. Go ahead.
Midas, before I let you go, you see what I did there? Before I let you go, yo, I just got, I never do this because after my fights, I'm super high on adrenaline. I got to thank my coach, Dave Reeves. I got to thank Cruz, Scott Howard, Coach Paul, everybody I trained with, Jake
Kindergarten,
Kenny, John, Adam, Evan, who had a hell of a show this weekend. I was proud of him. Morgan, who shows me every single time with dedication, is my boy Desmond, who went out there, man. He's a young kid, and I'm telling you, watch out for this kid. Matt Ferguson, my boy Pablo Garcia. Man, I don't want to forget somebody, and somebody's going to punch me in the head, but everybody, everybody at Pure Performance, man. Shout out to
big shout out to Matt Ferguson. I like that guy.
Matt's the man. I like he's got a little mustache going on right now. I'm talking to him about that.
Yeah.
Nobody has mustaches anymore. But besides that, Matt's one of my favorite people, man. Like, these are the same type of guys that have long nights out, want to celebrate our wins, and come in and meet me at like 9 o'clock in the morning to make sure I'm ready for my fight. So, man, big kudos to all mine, man. Willie, matter of fact, I knew I was getting to my boy Willie. He's going to do damage. He's fighting the Shogun November 15th. So, yeah, man, just shout out to everybody that's helping me get to where I'm going.
That's what's up.
I'm trying to get where they're going.
Yo, and I would like to give a shout out to Mike Pope. You know, because Mike Pope and you, Coach Reeves, you guys always support the activity bus, man. I definitely love having you guys on. So I want to say thank you guys for riding on the activity bus tonight. I know it's late, and I'll see you guys in the caves on Saturday.
Yes, sir. See you then, man. Shout out to my phone.
Yeah, yo, shout out to PIK. All right, guys. Yeah. Thanks. All right, later.